This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Florida. We are with Food Manager Testing. Since 2011, they have been providing on-site and online training for the hospitality industry with top-of-the-line experienced trainers and inspectors. I'm joined here by Roy Briggs, who is the president as well as founder. Roy, thanks so much for joining us here today. Let's start off a little bit about yourself. I mean, really, your early years, your career, you were a head chef for 14 plus years. You've worked in sales, executive director. You basically took the knowledge and education that you had and you went into the teaching capacity, even at the college level. For you, really, this has been more than just career. Really, this is a passion that began miles from here, all the way in England. And years ago, you started at the age of 8. You were fully serving by the age of 12. Share with your passion a little bit about supporting the hospitality industry and how this got started for you.
Well, I from the early age, I decided I wanted to be a chef. And at that time, I could leave school at 15. And I went to college and did chef school for 2 years. And then I joined the biggest hotel company in Europe and worked for them for 14 years. And then I went back to university and did my teaching degree and then taught chefs for almost 20 years. So it's been a lifelong passion before. And then I met my wife and then decided to come to Florida and started all over again as exec director of a training company here. So
that is exciting. Start all over, and you came to Florida. I mean, let's look back here in the past couple years. One thing we have learned in the year 2020 and forward is that really restaurants are the lifeblood of the hospitality industry. We, the public, we have learned much, we've seen much, but there's a lot going on behind the scenes when it comes to hospitality, like that of training. Why should training be the continual focus for these restaurants, not only today, but into the future?
Well, you're dealing with public and you have one of the most intimate relationships with people. Apart from my wife, who's a nurse, you're putting food in people's bodies. You're supposed to be making them feel like it's a treat when they go out. And it can be very dangerous if you're not trained properly. And if we do responsible alcohol training as well, and that's another one, that people can get in a lot of trouble if they're not trained to recognize when to cut somebody off with alcohol or how to prepare food safely to correct temperatures. And it's vitally important because we have a very intimate, as I said, an intimate relationship. We put food in people's bodies and it has to be safe.
That is well put. We have all adapted really to a touchless work environment, be it Zoom, remote learning. Is the training you provide on-site as well as online, and why is that important for you to provide the both?
It was on-site until COVID. We worked in the Turks and Caicos Islands with 5-star resorts. We did training there. We worked with Universal in Florida, did training for them. We worked with the Central Florida Hotel and Lodging Association, did training for them. American Culinary Federation, we did training for them on site. But because of COVID, nobody wanted to have 20 people in a room together and do the live training. So I've always been a proponent, since I worked with Cambridge University on remote learning. I was at the beginning of that. Offshoot of them was called Ultra Lab. And when I was teaching in high school, they asked anybody who wants to look at online learning. And I said, yes, it's the future. And so I've had a lot of experience with online learning. And because I'm an educator, not just some of the courses out there are like driver's ed. They're very boring and very laborious. So mine tend to be engaging. They're narrated. You can listen to them. They're much less painful than driver's ed.
Let me ask you this: as the hospitality industry focuses on really providing the best possible environment for their employees. Is a trained employee a happy employee?
Yeah, they are much more motivated because they are the young are the lifeblood of our industry, and if they feel they're making progress, then they're more motivated to stay with you. And retention is tough in our business. So the reason I joined the biggest hotel company in Europe was because they had the best training scheme, and you could get promoted quite quickly by their training. And it's the same here with like Disney. Every college graduate wants to join Disney because if you've been trained by Disney, you're likely to be able to get a job anywhere. So it's important to train your employees so they feel like they're making progress.
That is excellent. I mean, in the food industry, safety and compliance really should be job number one. Food manager certification, training and testing, is that really kind of at the top of the list when basically making sure everybody's certified and the place is in compliance?
Yeah, it's important because in Florida, for instance, you've got 30 days. If you started as a server or working with food, you've only got 30 days to get your food handler card. Otherwise, you're out of compliance. And every restaurant, hotel, everywhere that serves food has to have a food safety manager on site now. It used to be they could be remote. You could have one guy, one girl that was in the office on a different site. But now they have to, when the operation is open, they have to be on site. So there has to be a food safety manager supervising. And of course, then there's things like alcohol compliance, where you can get big discounts on your insurance if you train your people in responsible service of alcohol. So the compliance is a big part of it, yes.
The laws as they pertain to Florida versus other states, do they differ? And is Florida really your specialty, or are you able to help folks with training nationwide?
Well, since I've partnered with 360 Training for the online food handler and food manager, that is certifiable in all 50 states. So that transfers across. But a lot of the states do have their own particular setups. But we're pretty national. Most of our stuff is national. And because we do work with the American Culinary Federation, things like prevention of food allergies, they get continuing education hours for certification with that one as well. We've got 3 courses approved by the American Culinary Federation, so they're national as well.
I mean, looking online, you have a broad spectrum of training that you provide. I mean, obviously your specialty there is food safety. What is Food Safety First? What is that partnership there?
Food Safety First was before, when there was only so many licenses out there where you could certify food handlers. So there was a company called Food Safety First, which has now been sold to 360 Training. So they had a Florida license. They've never opened it up since. It was about 2009 or something. They opened it up, and there was, say, 20 or 30 companies that were licensed to certify food handlers. And Food Safety First was one of those. And I worked with a major certified sanitarian called Roy Costa. And we partnered up, and I wrote his online course for that as well. So that's where the Food Safety First comes in.
Pretty impressive. You've partnered up with these companies way back in the beginning. You've been with them. They're evolving like everyone is as well. Food safety, food protection, food sanitation programs. Why are all these areas best left to a professional company like yourself versus, let's say, a do-it-yourself in-house approach?
We did a lot of work with malls, Simon Malls here and in Atlanta, in all their food courts, because they wanted the same standard of food safety in each one of their outlets. And not everyone complies the same way. Some of the national chains have really good food safety, and then some of the mom and pops not so much. And so they employed us to go in and do like third-party food inspections and offer training to the ones that weren't coming up.
Wow. Certification and compliance training really is your specialty. We're scrolling across the screen right now. Basically, much training that you provide for the public out there. We're talking about areas in quality improvement, customer service, general departmental. I mean, you even have wine training. Is somebody on your staff there well versed in that area as well?
Yes, we had one of the few, national sommeliers we worked with on the wine training as well. Yeah, we try and bring in experts. On the food safety, my business partner was previously. He's now sort of semi-retired, still consults a little. He was the ex-supervising health inspector of Orange County, which includes Disney and Universal and the parks, SeaWorld, etc. So he was very experienced in the admin, which was great for me. I was good for the education. He was great for the certification.
I mean, having fully trained personnel in all these different areas, I mean, that has to help the owners and the managers sleep well at night, and you really provide some peace of mind for them, I would imagine.
Yes, exactly. They feel like they witness our training, and they say, that's great, because now, everybody knows where we are. We've just got to keep it up. And we don't have any axe to grind with the employees. We just bring them up to a standard. And all our stuff is, we have tests, quizzes, so they're made to be interactive, so they can prove that they've absorbed the knowledge. And we've had a reputation. As I said, we worked with some really big associations and companies in Florida and internationally.
That is exciting. Like you say, this isn't driver's license learning. This is interactive learning, something you're actually going to enjoy while you're going through, and obviously you're going to absorb more. I mean, with over 4 decades of experience in the hospitality industry, what really sets your company apart are the trainers, the inspectors. I mean, you've got pretty much probably 100 years of combined experience on your staff. Is that something you pride yourself on?
Yes, I'm a subject expert in the culinary side and the educational side, but as I said, I wasn't an expert in the laws for the department in Florida. So bringing in ex-inspectors and people that are experts in their field, national sanitarians and people that, because we've done food manufacturers as well, we've helped people get into Disney as a supplier, because we do HACCP plans. We write HACCP plans for them, which has to be in place if you want a contract to supply Disney outlets. So we've worked with food manufacturers as well, in the ice cream field, in the handmade chocolates field, and things like that.
I mean, you have been trusted by the small mom and pop shops, mid-sized companies, industry, hotels, all the way up to Disney. That says something about your longevity of your company right there. But be it as a chef, as a trainer, an instructor, an author, mentor. I mean, is this really your way of giving back, continually sharing your knowledge that you have in the industry, and does it continue to be rewarding for you?
Yes. Chefs have had a tradition of passing on knowledge, because everybody knows they can have a cookbook, but it doesn't come out right. So it's important that chefs pass on their knowledge, and it's always been the same that chefs have passed on to the next generation, because it's a young person's game, is our industry. So if you're gonna, if you love our industry, and I've had a lifetime in it, and enjoyed most of it. Some of it's been tough, but I've enjoyed most of it. And, you just love the industry and you want to contribute.
Starting from age 8 all the way to now. You still enjoy the industry. That's kind of exciting. I'm honored to tell your story, Roy. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. First of all, on the website, take a look and learn a little bit more about this company that basically provides top-of-the-line instructors, the inspectors, trainers that basically have been in the industry before. They understand compliance. Check out, you're talking about 100 years of combined experience right there on their staff. Also, check out all their training courses are available right there. You can register online. If you're looking at getting consultation from an organization about what needs to be done, maybe you're starting a restaurant or anything in the hospitality, you can definitely reach out to them as well. And basically set up a consultation. Once again, that is Food Manager Testing since 2011, serving you right there in Florida, providing on-site and online training for the hospitality industry with top-of-the-line experienced trainers and inspectors. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.